This mint condition promo could possibly be one of the best promos that we have had all season. And let's go through exactly why. And we'll start off with the masters themselves, and there are some pretty good masters with what you can get. There are 4 103 masters, 2 giving out team boost, but 2 also giving out an elite position boost, and they are really good. One's a scoring machine boost and one is a post monster boost, making these guys really valuable to stick on your bench. And then also the other guys giving out team boost, again being put on your bench to help your whole team as opposed to just certain positions. But they are really nice masters. They have got some decent stats, nothing too special though. Some of them have got some nice sort of like specific stats. There isn't one really standout card between all 4 of them. And then you get to the Grandmaster, the 105 overall Rudy Gobert. Now he's giving out an elite rebounding boost to team, which makes him really good. And of course you'd want to go ahead and try and get him because he has got some very nice stats to help your team out on that side, and also that team boost is going to be really valuable to your whole team. And he is playstyle select, which is pretty good. And then on top of all of this, there will be a hidden master coming in the next couple of days, or it might be out by the time you're watching this, that Magic Johnson, who is also a 105 overall, and he's giving out an elite shooting boost to team as well. So that's a +4 shooting boost to team. Same with the Rudy Gobert, just with that rebounding boost, and he's looking pretty good as well. Magic Johnson, as always, the AI side of his card is really good and really tough for opponents to come up against. And of course, pair that with the Rip Hamilton, who's giving out his boost, which is a bit unusual, but it is to point guard and not to his shooting guard spot, but it is to a point guard spot. So pair him plus that Magic Johnson, it's going to be a really good combination between the 2 of them. But getting on to the promo itself, it's all well and good having these really nice masters, but if the promo itself can't deliver with the event, then it isn't much point in actually going ahead and playing through. And I have to say, the events do hold up. There are a couple of tweaks that I'd maybe make, and we have had this promo format a lot of times now before. Sometimes it's been good, sometimes it's been bad, sometimes it's been in the middle. I'd say this is definitely on the very good end. I still think the stamina is a little bit tricky, but it isn't too much of an issue. Maybe lowering the blitz event 25 just to differentiate between the main events going along the top. The main events going along the tops, I have to say, have been giving us really good cards. Now you may look at this in 2 different ways. You may look at it saying these are giving us really good cards. You're getting high overall players, you're getting players you might have got from previous promos. I certainly have been finding, I don't even remember half the cards that I've been pulling, but I've been pulling really nice cards from past promos, which has been pretty nice, but they are higher overall. Usually I think when we get this type of promo format, you'll get players in between the range that you need to use in the set. So for this promo, it would be anywhere between 83 and 91 overall. Now you can potentially get some players in that range, but more likely than not, you might get players a little bit higher than that range who don't actually go into these sets, which do make it a little bit tricky with these sets, and they are a bit tricky in themselves because you are needing a ton of players to get them, and they are rising in prices on the auction house, which hasn't been fixed for the last couple of days. So it has been a bit tricky on that side, but I do like having to open these packs and seeing what I can get, because there is always the chance of you getting players from the promo as well. Not only these higher overall players from past promos, but these specific promo players to help yourself out in the sets themselves. So all of this stuff is adding up really nicely. You've got the masters that are good, you've got the events that are good, the sets, they're okay, they're nothing too special. That exchange set, as I said, is a little bit difficult trying to do all of them every single time you possibly can, but I do like your fact that you have to upgrade the players, and you do have that chance of getting the 94s and the 97s in the events themselves to help you progress a little bit quicker throughout the promo, getting yourself those 103s. Legendary Falls players are pretty nice. Aaron Gordon himself has a nice dunk package on him as well. They are just there pretty much to help you unlock the other side. The achievements are pretty good. And then of course, Rudy Gobert, getting yourselves those 103s back. Now, the change that they made from last time that we got this promo format is namely with that extra master. So this time it's Magic Johnson. Last time, if you can remember, it was that Wilt Chamberlain back when we got Klay Thompson as our sort of Rudy Gobert Grandmaster. But what we had with him is you had to get yourself the Grandmaster itself. So at the time it was that Klay Thompson, plus also 7 of the 103 Masters. Now what's looking like for this time, they are going to reduce it to 6, which I actually really like. And the reason for this is 7, it was a bit of a push, but 6, it is pretty good. Let's say no money spent, if you do all the things right, you probably will get yourself 4 of the 103s and get yourself that Rudy Gobert. So on top of that, you just need to get yourself 2 more 103s, which does make it interesting, because if you're pay to win, that's not really going to be a huge amount of an issue. You could probably do that if you are pay to win. No money spent, it opens up the door for you to potentially get the card. And it's not like a guaranteed way of getting the card, it is a potential one. Whether you get more lucky in the event, maybe you've got lucky enough already, maybe you win an EA giveaway. And I do actually like that, because it is separating the no money spent guys and the pay to win guys, but not unfairly, because usually when we get this separation between pay to win and no money spent, it is kind of unfair. Like say on one promo, you might be able to get the Grandmaster pay to win, but definitely not no money spent, and the next reward below that isn't actually that good. Whereas this one, you can get yourself the Gobert, who's going to be really, really good for your team, no money spent, and then pay to win guys are more likely going to get that Magic Johnson. That's not to say you will definitely not be able to get him no money spent. There's still a possibility there, and I think that is a really nice thing to add to these types of promos. Maybe we get that in future types as well, and maybe adding it to additional promo formats that we've had, having that sort of really good no money spent card, but then also additional pay to win card that you could potentially get no money spent, but it's not a guarantee. I really like that with this promo, and that's why I think it is definitely up there with the best promos that we have had this season. But those are just my thoughts and opinions, and I asked you guys as usual on my Discord server and on my YouTube community page. The link to the Discord server, as always, is in the description down below. But we'll start off on Discord, and we've got a comment over here saying it's 9 out of 10. Although the promo is free to play and really good, I wish it was a different format and not something that's always the same. However, it's really good, and like the conference finals promo, it is free to play. The Masters have nice boosts and stats, same with the Grandmaster. And I do understand still we aren't getting these new formats that we might want with these promos, but I don't mind this one. I think it's okay. Like the last promo before this one, I did mind, but I didn't really play it a huge amount, and having this one is a nice refresher. Hopefully this means we can then go off the back of this one and get a new promo format, or maybe an old one with some slight tweaks like I just mentioned, adding say maybe another master and hidden master at the end of a promo format that we're familiar with. I think that'd be pretty good, but I do understand it's probably a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 sort of promo over there. And that's what basically most of the ratings and opinions that I did get for this promo over here. The other comment is straight to the point and says 10 out of 10. I love these types of promos, and I think this is definitely one that a lot of people like. It's up there with that Lone Warriors type of promo format. A lot of people like this one because we know you can get the Grandmaster pretty much free to play if you do everything correctly. Like you play most of the events, you do most of the sets, you buy everything in the store, you should get this guy and no money spent, and it is a good master to try and get at the end of the promo. Another comment over here says 8 out of 10. It's a good promo, I admit. Players with good boosts, either position or team, doesn't matter. Grandmaster and Masters are free to play, attainable, but I didn't expect that EA would bring back the mint condition on a boring same format. Now what he's alluding to here is, if you guys remember back in season 4 when we had the mint condition promo for the first time, it was such a nice promo format. It's really, really different and unique in how you could actually go ahead and get yourself the Masters. So to have that name for this promo is a little bit disappointing when you compare it to maybe that season 4 promo format. A lot of you guys might not actually know about that season 4 format, but that was so nice. It was really, really different, really unique. I can't really describe it. And it really ran with the theme of getting rare foil cards, like opening proper packs in real life and getting players. It really ran with that theme, whereas this time over here, they're just slapping that name off of a basic promo format that we have had before. So I do understand that a little bit, with it being that expectation of it being something similar and crazy as we had in season 4, and it not really living up to that name. I do understand that. Anchor over here says, all I have to say is that we are guaranteed a Grandmaster because this is the best and easiest free to play format this season. And I do kind of agree, there's not much you can really do wrong with this promo format. If you do get lucky enough with some of the events, then you can say do less sets, and vice versa. If you get less players from the events, then you might have to do more sets, and it works pretty nicely. There's a nice balance between the two. If you're extremely unlucky, I don't really know what to say to you. You might have to do absolutely everything you possibly can to try and get the Masters, but I do think through the calculations, it is slightly possible to get the Masters no money spent. If you get entirely no luck at all from any of the events, I do think it's slightly possible, and that is a backup option to do. Jam G over here says 9.5 out of 10 because the best promo format and it's a favorable length. The 0.5 is because I think the Blitz event should be lowered to 35 or 40 stamina per time, as the stamina requirements are a bit high. Now, one thing he picked up on was, of course, the favorable length. It's a little bit longer than the 7-day promo format that we're used to a little bit. It is a 10-day promo format, which I don't mind. I think it's pretty good having it a bit longer and having that Grandmaster drop 3/4 the way through the promo. I think that's pretty nice, and it is something to maybe spice it up, because by that point you might have got yourself that Grandmaster Gobert, so it's another thing to try and get at the end of the promo. The 0.5, I do understand we're trying to lower those stamina requirements. I do think they are a bit high, but again, if you do get lucky enough in some of the other events getting players, you might not need to play as many events in trying to actually go through every single one for that day. But I do understand how they can be a little bit too expensive on the stamina front. Another comment over here says people who bought the 104 Rudy Gobert and then 3 really angry emojis. And I do understand that, because in the live pass, Rudy Gobert was a Grandmaster in one of those paid life passes. I think it was the premium one, and then Giannis was of course the MVP one. But I do understand people spent real money to try and get that 104 Gobert, and now we're getting a slightly better Gobert because he's 105 overall and he's giving out a team boost, which makes him a little bit better probably than that life pass one. So I do understand the frustration. It's not the best master pick in my opinion. It could have been someone else at that center position, and of course you're spending real money. That's real money that you've probably earned or got in real life to then spend to get that Gobert, and now to have another one that you can pretty much just get for free without spending any money. But that's kind of how the game works. Cards do lose their value over time, which is its own issue in its own right. But if you want to go check out any of the 2 gameplays that I've already done with these 103 Masters, I did one with Rip Hamilton, which will be in the left-hand corner, or you can check out the one I did with the 103 overall DeJounte Murray. Take your pick out of either of the 2 crazy gameplays, and I'll see you guys in either of those videos. Peace!